Good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with Michelle and John. Welcome. Sorry you weren't here for last week.
We were away.
In fact, you weren't here for 2 weeks.
I wasn't here for 2 weeks.
But you're feeling good now again?
Yes, feeling absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
You're here.
And it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Right.
So here we are, back with you again. So welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with us. And it's a special time of anchoring our awareness in a field of vibration that is beneficial not only for ourselves and for our lives that we live, but also for the whole of mankind. So what we're doing now is very important work. It can hardly be called work, but it is in fact the most important work we can ever do, which is being the light, holding the light, channeling the light, however you want to see it in the world. And it's connecting, the saying is where two or more are gathered, there I am. So what we're doing is we're increasing the I amness, which is the true essence of being in our awareness. And by doing that, we're creating it in the collective unconscious of all of mankind. So this is really important work that we're doing. Don't like that word. We need a new word.
Dancing. We're dancing together.
We're dancing together. Yeah.
Welcome.
So welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we love getting hearts and likes.
Yeah, we do like that because we see it coming up on our little screen here.
Yeah. So do press the like button and also share it. It really makes a big difference to getting the word out there. And at the moment, there's so much negativity being spread about, shared. In fact, there's so much negativity being shared, and so let's share this bit of positivity, this light with our groups. With our friends and family.
Thanks for checking in there. Misty, hello. Hello, Helen. Hello, Vanessa.
Hi, folks.
Both of you from the UK.
Hello.
It's very hot here. I know it's probably chillier there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, we've had a beautiful weekend.
Yeah,
It's been lovely and warm, and we went out to Stellenbosch yesterday evening and stayed over in the most magnificent house up on the hill.
Friends of ours, yeah. Beautiful.
And when you look over Cape Town from that vantage point, you realize what a beautiful part of the world we live in.
Yes.
Absolutely magnificent. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll put a photograph up
That's a
of
good
the
idea.
view we had from last night. I'll put it up on
And this
Facebook
beautiful
after
moon,
we
crescent
finish.
moon.
Yeah, that moon was incredible, eh?
Just this beautiful shot.
Absolutely.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah. So welcome. So tonight we're going to be looking at War and Peace. And no, it's not the book War and Peace by, who is it?
Tolstoy.
It's
about that thicker.
Yeah, very important book that. No, it's not the book, but it's just our version of the dichotomy of what's happening in the world at the moment, the sort of division, the separation that's going on. And so we're going to look at War and Peace tonight. So thank you for joining us. And again,
Thank you.
please, if you can, press the share button. It really helps us if you do share it. It does help get the word out there. So let's start this evening by doing the really important aspect of the evening, which is clearing our mind and centering ourselves in this sacred time and place. There is no more sacred place on earth than this place, this time, right now, in this place where you are right now. So let's just gently close our eyes and withdraw our minds from all other times and all other places, and let's just become aware of the breath and the aliveness in our body, the life that occupies our body. And we're withdrawing our mind from the ideas that we have about ourselves, withdrawing our mind from the idea that we are a personality, the idea that we are our thinking mind, the idea that we are our past and going to the future. Let's withdraw our mind from those concepts for a moment and just become aware of the isness of this moment, the direct perception through your awareness, through the five senses in the body right now, here, in this moment. Just become aware of where you're sitting right now. Become aware of the sensation of the chair or the bed or the floor or whatever you're seated on. Just become aware of that. Not through memory or anticipation, but directly in this moment. Just become aware of the sensations coming into your body, possibly from your feet, from your buttocks, from your back, maybe resting against the backrest. Become aware of the sensations coming into your awareness from your arms or your hands, where they're resting right now. Just become aware of listening. Become aware of all the sounds you can hear right now. So you're aware of the very faculty of listening. And now we step back deeper. We become aware of the awareness that's listening. The eternal space of presence that you are. That is right here, right now, in this moment, aware. You are that awareness. And as we let go of the ideas about ourselves, and we connect directly through direct perception of the awareness that listens, the awareness that feels, we find peace just in this moment. It's actually peace that listens. It's peace that's aware of the chair that you're sitting on. It's peace that's aware of all the sensations in your body. Now let's take a deep breath in. And as we breathe in, we breathe from the diaphragm, so we push our tummy out like a big ball, and then we release it and we relax our shoulders, dropping our shoulders, relaxing our neck muscles. Take a second, very deep breath in again, pulling your stomach out, pushing your stomach out, and then as you breathe out, it's just a releasing, just a letting go, a long sigh out, and just relaxing our foreheads, our jaw, relaxing any tension in our cheeks. Take a third, very deep breath in now, right down to the toes this time, and up to the top of the head, so you're blowing yourself up like a big ball, and then that beautiful long sigh out, and just letting go of everything that no longer serves you in this moment. Letting it go. You can pick it up later, but right now, just release every thought, every idea, every challenge, every problem. Just let it go and allow life just take over the breathing. Allow life to breathe you, to live you in this moment. You don't have to do anything right now other than to be aware of the breath, aware of the hearing, the listening, aware of the touch, the taste, aware of any pictures behind your eyelids, just aware. And once again, aware of the awareness, aware that you, the I am, the isness, is awareness. And this awareness is stillness. And in this stillness there is clarity. And in this clarity there is peace. Like the depth of the ocean, underneath any waves on the surface, any storms on the surface, underneath in the depth of the ocean, there's peace. You are this peace. When you connect with the depth of your true being. And as we connect to the depth of our true being, which is just pure unconditional awareness, in this moment we become the peace that we seek. And as we become aware of this peace, which is our true essence, this raises the awareness, the consciousness for all of mankind. We're all little drops in the ocean. And as we purify one drop, we steadily purify the whole ocean. As we clear our minds, we gradually clear the waters for all of mankind. Just being aware of the stillness in this moment, the quietness within. Might be an unusual place for you, but it's beautiful. And it's real, experientially, in this moment. It is presence. So take a very deep breath in now, slowly, right into your diaphragm, pulling your tummy out. And then as you breathe out, bring your tummy back to touch your spine if you can. So you're really pushing all the air out. Do that a second time. Breathe in deeply again, softly, but breathe in fully. And as you breathe out, at the end of the breath, just become aware of that empty space at the end of the breath. Realize that in that empty space is your true essence, your God essence, your divine essence, which is peace. And now gently, very gently, when you're ready, open your eyes and hold that awareness of peace, of presence in your consciousness as we move through tonight's satsang. So thank you for being here. Sorry we missed you last week.
Thanks, John. That
We
was
were
lovely.
away.
We
We were away in a beautiful
now,
place.
we're back now.
Yeah, here we are. Back with you tonight. So welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's lovely to be here. And tonight we're going to be talking about
War
and peace.
and peace.
War and peace. War and
And we
peace.
just thought it was relevant with what's going on in the world. Astrologically, it's relevant as well.
And
relevant. Yeah, so astrologically, we've just been through a new moon, which I did a little piece on the other day. And we're still in the sign of, the sun's still in the sign of Pisces, and it's being amplified by Jupiter, which is actually a good thing. It's helping us to surrender and to let go and to bring ourselves into that place of peace. And we've got the planets Venus and Mars, which are the planets of the male and female planets. You can see Venus as the goddess of love, if you like, and Mars the warrior planet. It's not necessarily associated with war, but it gives us a kind of a theme in terms of what's going on in our world and the separation that we're experiencing without going into any of that. At any one moment, are we in peace, or are we in love, or are we choosing to go to war? So Venus and Mars astrologically have just today moved into the sign of Aquarius, which for me helps us to get some distance, helps us to get some little bit of detachment from the drama, helps us to step away from it and kind of look at it from a bigger picture, as opposed to being immersed in the drama of the last few weeks. And so that gives us some signals. And Venus and Mars have been moving together now for a month. Beginning of February they started, and they only finish moving together at the end of March. And they usually only move together for 10 days a year, every 2 years. So it's kind of it's a sign for me that this is kind of integrating and seeing the masculine, seeing the feminine, seeing both sides, but not being enmeshed, not identifying with either or. So that's in terms of the masculine, feminine. So we can just talk about that and talk about war and love and peace.
Yeah, it's interesting because we as humans tend to have a propensity for taking sides.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it yesterday. Many people support sports teams, and it's a case of our team versus your team. And then we extend that to our religious ideologies, that my religion is better than your religion, or my political party is obviously better than your political party, or my country is better than your country, or the country of my choice is better than another country, or the country that the media doesn't like is terrible and the media likes this country, or whatever. We take sides. Why must we be partisan in our view? Why must we take sides? Why do we take sides? Why do we have a preferential sports team, for example? And I'm not judging it right or wrong. I'm asking you to ask yourself why you have a need to identify who you are with a somethingness outside of you. A somethingness that might be, for example, a national identity, or it might be a gender, or it might be a race or religion, or it might be a sports team. Why? Why the need? Just ask yourself the question, why do I need to have a sports team?
Or side. Why do I need to take sides?
Why do I need to take sides? Because in that is the core, the very essence of what conflict is about. Because when we take sides, we have a self invested in half of what's going on. And in that, we then filter all of the incoming information through a judgment of my side is better than your side, or my side deserves to win compared to your side, or whatever it is. And there lies the problem. We go to war in our consciousness. And there lies the very essence, the core, the seed of the conflict in the world that we experience out there.
Now that's a good point, because I think we are often at war inside ourselves. We're at war with our feelings. We are conflicted inside us, which side we're on, what we should do. So there's this constant conflict underneath the surface. It's kind of in the world of form, really. The form. There's a conflict there. Whereas in the formless, there is no conflict because there are no sides. But we tend to, our egos and our minds tend to go from side to side. This is right, this is wrong, I'm good, he's bad. This is a good emotion, that's a bad emotion. This is a good thought, that's a bad thought. I should do this, but I shouldn't do that. So very often we are in this state of conflict for most of the time. And I think this is a time for us to see that. And as John said, to ask ourselves, do we need to do that? And it's almost it's a choice that we make, isn't it? It's so easy to go to war. It's so easy to see something as wrong and go to war about it. He didn't do it the way he was supposed to, so therefore I'm angry and I'm going to go to war. Or he did it like that, or she did it like that. But I choose not to go to war. And I think that this what we're facing on our planet with all the disparity and the conflict and everything else is just a symptom of what we are inside. And what society is and what we've been conditioned to believe. This is right, this is wrong, this is right, good, bad, male, female, country, this country versus that country, your opinion versus my opinion. And it's exhausting. And it doesn't serve anybody. Really, at the end of the day, war has never served anybody.
Yeah, it's destructive, and it also takes us away from who we really are.
Yeah.
Now, you said there about form. Form is always up or down, left or right or whatever. That's form.
The nature of form.
The nature of form. And the mind and the world of form are one and the same. Max Planck, who won the prize for physics for his research into solid matter, I think in about 1930 odd, said if there's one thing I've learned about matter, and that is that matter doesn't exist. All that's real is mind. In other words, the physical universe of form is actually mind, and it's the mind that's judgmental. Now, the question I asked earlier was, why the need to take sides? Why the need to identify ourselves with this team or that team, with this religion or that religion, or this skin color or that skin color? Why the need? Not identify or having an idea is fine, but it's the need for it. It's the need for what? What is it? It's because we don't know who we are. So therefore we need to attach a sense of identity onto a somethingness. And a somethingness is always polarized. But in the meditation in the beginning, at the end of the out-breath, there was that pause, that emptiness, Where were the sides in that emptiness? Where was up and down in that emptiness? Where was right and wrong in that emptiness? It didn't exist. So there was no form in that moment. You were the formless. And the formless doesn't have a side, doesn't have an upside, doesn't have a bad side. It's not good or bad. It is an isness. And if we start to disinvest our sense of self from the world of form, we become this non-judgmental, formless awareness. And that is love. That's what love is. It's the sense of oneness, because we all meet in the formless. In the form, we're separate. I'm separate to you. You're separate to us. But in the formless, we are not separate at all. And when we start to recognize that, first of all, within ourselves as a true identity, I'm not a something supporter, I'm just the awareness of the world going around, the awareness that watches. Then we start to know ourselves as our true beingness, which is this formless essence of being, which is life. And when you know you are life, you're not going to go and try and take someone else's life, because you know that the life that you are is the life that they are. And that's where true compassion, empathy, caring comes from. And just to sort of encapsulate this, John Lennon, he sang a song with Yoko, Give Peace a Chance. And it's a beautiful song. And he also did the song Imagine. Just imagine if you didn't have an identity. Imagine if you weren't a this or a that.
Imagine a world without
How
borders.
could you go to, if there were no borders? How can you go to war if there are no borders? If there's no separation? You can't. Now, this is the new world that is being birthed at the moment. And the question we have to ask is, do we want to carry on giving energy, focus, attention, emotional energy to the old world of separation, of form? Or do we want to give our energy and feed and nurture something brand new? Something completely different to the past.
Yeah. And don't you think that it starts with each of us? Because if we are at war inside ourselves, we are going to automatically identify with this is right, this is wrong, because that bolsters our sense of identity. So if I'm not sure about myself and I take a side, that gives me a sense of strength or a sense of connection with another group of people, another person who believes the same as I do. So it's that sort of, it's almost like a tribe, that I believe this, you believe this, okay, so we're on the same side. It gives us that sense of, okay, I've got strength on my side, rather than can we just hold a space for this is what's happening. I'm actually not sure who's right and who's wrong and what side I'm on, because actually, if you think about it, there's never when it comes to different people in different countries and different genders and all of the stuff that's going on our planet, where's the right and where's the wrong? Because it's the filter through which we're seeing the world. It's the lens through which we're seeing the world. So to judge it is actually just your own perception. I judge it as right and he judges it as wrong, and they've both got merit.
Yeah.
So you look at the narratives out there and you read one and it's, yeah, that sounds feasible. And then you read another one and it sounds feasible too. So which one's right? Is there a right? Is there a wrong?
Yeah.
So can we hold a neutral space? Oh. Can we just look at it and say, yes, this is happening, but I choose in this moment to not take sides, to see what's going on, to hold a space for it, but not to necessarily have to make a decision. And I think that starts with us.
Yeah.
How can we be more unified in our own beingness? Can we allow ourselves to have a thought and not judge it? Can we allow ourselves to have a dip in our emotional world and not judge it? Can we forgive ourselves and not go to war with ourselves when we do something that might not be up to our high standards? Or we don't do something that we said we we're going to do? Can we forgive? Can we love ourselves? Because that's going to radiate out. And I think that the situation in the world is simply a symptom of where we have been as people. We've been fighting for years, for thousands of years. So it starts with each of us.
And to realize that the perceptions that we hold today about reality are programmed in our unconscious mind from childhood. We are programmed to take sides. We're programmed to judge. We're programmed to judge ourselves. We're programmed to judge others because we were judged. And so we've been looking through eyes of programs from our childhood. And those programs will keep us stuck in repeating patterns of the past. And if we enjoy war and killing and maiming and all the destruction, well, just keep on doing what you've done before and you'll carry on receiving the world that we have always lived in. But if we want something new, we have to elevate our awareness to a much higher level of that. That's what Albert Einstein says. You can't solve the problems from the same level of thinking we're at when they're created. So this takes a concerted effort to elevate our awareness to something new. And something new is this place of witnessing presence, which you can call love, you can call peace. And as we start to let go of the internal war and the internal need for identification with an object out there in the world of form, as we start to be comfortable with the idea, with the direct perception that I'm not a somethingness. I am a presence. I am, in fact, life. As we become comfortable with that idea, that opens up within us a new field of consciousness. And that new field of consciousness is the very soil that the new earth is to be born from. Not from the old judgmental mind of right and wrong, but coming from a state of forgiveness, of acceptance and love. And from that, something brand new is being born already and will be born through us. It's not going to be done to us on the outside. This transformation is not an outside-in job. It's not a case of sorting out your external circumstances or the world or countries or whatever so that you can feel comfortable. It's feeling this first and then seeing it on the outside. If you just think of the last 2 years. The last 2 years we've been fed from the media that we are at war. We're at war with a virus.
Everything.
And the virus, they said, came from nature. Now, there's a lot of information now coming out that it definitely wasn't from nature, but that was the perception. We're at war with nature. Now, nature is our mother. Nature is our body. Nature is the provider of all the sustenance that we need to be humans. And we have been programmed to go to war with our very nature. And so that sits in our psyche. Now, that narrative was running out of steam. So now a new narrative is fed to us that we must go to war with a certain ideology or country or preference or whatever. And again, we go back into this war mode. Now we have to choose. Do we want peace or do we want war?
What does it mean?
And if we want peace, what does that mean to us? Where does it come from? And it comes from a higher level of consciousness, a less judgmental, preferential level of consciousness. We have to be the change we desire to see in the world, as Gandhi said.
Yeah, in order to see where we're judging, we have to be in that neutral position. Because when we're in the judgment mode, we're not in the observer. We're actually just in it. We've spiraled into the drama and we're part of it now. So now we've taken sides. And so we can't see clearly because we're in it. Whereas if you've got this observer perspective, which is basically what, Venus and Mars moving into Aquarius, is the observer. It's being able to just step back, just get a little bit of space. Just get a little bit of space before you jump into a decision or an opinion about something. Oh, I know this is what's happening. Do you? And do you have to take sides? And do we have to know? I think that's the other thing, is to be comfortable with not knowing. No, I don't know, actually. And that's okay too. Because none of us really do know. Because there's millions of different narratives out there. So it's where we choose to be. Do we choose this or do we choose this or do we just choose to be in the middle? And how does that impact our lives when we are able to actually choose that center place? When we choose to be in the center of the wheel rather than spinning out on the outside of the wheel, joining all the noise and all the discomfort and all the discord. Do we want to be on the outside of the wheel? Because we can do that, but it's not a comfortable place to be. Or do we choose to actually maintain a center? And I think that's what those of you on this call and in our little community, you're part of that because you're here. You're part of holding a new vibration. And so, yeah, it's just a question, do you need to go to war? And it goes ripples right through our lives. You see somebody doing something that you wouldn't do. So what do? Do you go to war with it, that person? Or do you just observe it and allow it, accept it? They're different from me. They have a different perspective from me. I don't necessarily have to change them or persuade them to do something different. And who is it that needs to do that? I think that's another question. Which part of me feels the need to actually change this person's mind or persuade this person that my way is better? Which part of me is that? Is it the centered part of me, or is it the insecure part of me that wants to have some agreement from this other person, which is then going to make me feel better about myself? Yeah.
Thank you for the hearts that we're getting, and if you find what we're sharing of any value, please press the like and the share button. It helps get the information out there. So thank you for the hearts. It's beautiful. Thank you. It really is.
Thank you.
So it's to realize that we've been programmed from young to be partisan, to be judgmental. The mind is judgmental, and we've developed a wonderful mind. But if we would like to create a new world for ourselves and for our children and our grandchildren to live in, we have to be this change. We have to make this shift now away from judgmental perception into love perception. And love has no preferences. It has no judgment. It doesn't have that. Yes, there are things in life that we need to do, and in that we need to judge, do I do this or doing that? But it's the consciousness behind that. We now no longer have a self invested in a particular preferential side. We're not taking sides anymore. And that, out of that unity consciousness, a new world will be born and is being born right now. And don't expect the old world to go along with us. Don't expect the old world to support you in this new way of thinking or new way of being in the world, because the old world of education or the media is very much invested in the old world. It comes from money, and that's the old world. So the media isn't going to help you with this. You have to make the decision independent of the good opinion of those around you. You have to make this decision independent of probably friends and family's opinion. You have to choose peace rather than having an opinion about something. Choose peace, because as you choose peace, you become peace. And as you become peace, you change the entire field in which human consciousness arises. And that is what we need now, a new human consciousness.
And it's a moment by moment process, I think, is that because we've been so conditioned, we're all dealing with this. So it's a moment by moment process. Can I choose peace in this moment? Just this moment. Can I choose love in this moment?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to complain to this person about what they did. Do I need to do that, or don't I?
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe you do need to, but very often I think we find that actually no, I don't need to. It's not really going to achieve anything. If there's something you need to say, you say it, but you say it from that peaceful place. So it's literally becoming so aware of where we're putting our energy, where we're sending our thoughts, where we're actually sending our energy at any one moment. He made me mad, so therefore I'm going to go to war with that person, even though he's not here, and even though it happened last week. I'm still simmering about that thing that person said. So it's just to see, what are we attaching to? You know, where we're sending our energy on any given moment. Because if we're sending it on these mad, crazy missions, we're not centered. And we're not in a place of peace. We can't be. We cannot be. And I think it boils down to what we're watching, what we're listening to, how much we're investing in that. You know, does it resonate with me? Does this that I'm listening to make me feel expanded?
Yeah.
Or does it actually make me want to shut down and scream my head off, you know? Which one is actually serving me, and therefore which one's serving the field? Because if I'm shut down and feeling conflicted and small and scared and fearful, then that's the vibration that I'm sending out into the world. It's a moment by moment choice.
The vibration of war is a very dense vibration.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy vibration. It's a very restrictive vibration. The vibration of peace and love, on the other hand, is a liberation. It's a freedom, and it's an expansive energy.
Yeah.
And the world around us has lived on the energy of control and manipulation, and that is false evidence appearing real, which is the acronym for fear. So fear has driven us separate, divide, rule, and conquer. Where the new world that's arising now, if we look at some of the freedom movements going on around the world, it's beautiful to see the love, the gentleness that's arising in those movements, and it's really beautiful. And this is a sign that there is a greater intelligence. Although the world itself seems to be in so much turmoil and trouble, there is a bubbling to the surface of something new. And that is true liberation. That is true freedom. It's a freedom that comes from within our hearts and bursts out. The mind, on the other hand, controlled through childhood, through preferential thinking, through we're programmed to believe in Darwin's thesis of survival of the fittest, which is not correct, and it shuts down the heart. But this is a time of opening the heart. Yes, use your mind still. You don't have to completely,
you have to,
make it redundant. Use your head when necessary, but live in the heart. Yeah, live in the heart and start to feel a sense of oneness with everyone around you. Why must there be this me versus you attitude, this war? And, Michelle mentioned it earlier. That war starts with an internal war because we're not comfortable with who we are.
Yeah.
We are at war with ourselves, and therefore we judge the world around us. We go to war with the world around us, because the world around us is actually a mirror. And now is the time to see that and to come back to love for who we really are.
Just in that moment. So as you feel yourself judging somebody else, and we all do it, all of us do it, it's in that moment to say, come back to love right now. You don't have to judge. It's not achieving anything. So yes, this person's doing something you don't like or don't believe in or can't see the point. I'm judging. Okay, I forgive myself in this moment, first of all, for judging. I'm human, and I judged. And in this moment, I choose to come back. Or you can let yourself go into a whole spinning spiral of this shouldn't be happening, it shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. So it's a choice in each moment, and it's forgiving yourself, forgiving the other person in each moment when we go into judgment, because it is such deep conditioning. I mean, as you said, we've been taught from day one to judge. You like this, you don't like that. You want to do this, but not that. He's good, he's bad. This is right, this is wrong. We've been taught it from the very beginning. So it's deep conditioning that we can just, in this moment, just in each and every moment, we can make a choice.
Yeah.
And I really do believe it starts with us. The war out there starts with the war within each of us.
Yeah.
And it often will, it's very much associated with what we're feeling. And can we hold a space for that? Or do we go to war with ourselves straight away? I shouldn't be like that. Look what I've done. And the way we speak to ourselves, are we speaking to ourselves with love, or are we at war with ourselves? Because that's being reflected.
Yeah. Can we speak to ourselves with kindness? Kindness
to
ourselves.
Kindly?
And can we speak kindly to those around us
Yeah.
with kindness? Can we be softer with ourselves? Can we be more gentle with ourselves? Can we be more understanding with ourselves? Because if we can definitely, we will find ourselves being more softer, kinder, gentler, understanding with the world around us, less judgmental with the world around us. Mm-hmm. So it does start, as Michael Jackson says, with the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Yeah. And I think it's quite interesting that, something like a war starts and people will say, I'm not for war. War is not for me. We shouldn't be at war. But we fail to see how we are at war every day in our own lives. Mm. And now because bombs are dropping, which is horrendous, I mean, I don't think there's ever cause for war. And innocent people will always get hurt. So I don't believe that it ever works. Sometimes you hear people saying the war on peace. I'm fighting for peace. Well, you can't fight for peace. It's the opposite. If you're fighting, then you're not at peace. So it's just we judge war as being bad, but we don't see that we're at war.
Yeah, therefore we want to go to war to sort it out.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that that's not going to work. We have to be the change. We have to realize that energy predates or pre-whatever the physical world around us. The energy we hold inside us manifests in the outside world of experience around us. And if we change the energy within us, we change the energy around us, the physical world around us. And we have immense power. I know we've been programmed by media, by education, by religion to think we're not powerful. We are incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. And we were talking about it earlier, that the antidote to all evil is not war. It's joy. It's joy. Joy is the kryptonite for evil. The more joy we can feel in our hearts, the more the evil, the darkness dissolves. And people might say, but it's impossible. Without watching my TV, I don't see. Why are you watching television? Why have you chosen, sitting in your house, a million miles away from the drama, why are you choosing to bring that into your living room? Why? Why? Switch it off and focus on something that brings you joy. Because in creating joy inside yourself, you are helping alleviate the struggles in those countries. You, by spiraling down into a dense vibration, does nothing to help those people in those war-torn regions. Does nothing. But you anchoring a feeling of stillness, quietness, and
Absolutely.
possibly even joy in you in this moment elevates the whole field of consciousness and changes awareness in other people. Definitely it does. So be the change you desire to see in the world. And if you want more joy in the world, be the joy. Focus on the joy within you, irrespective of outside circumstance. People often say, yeah, I just need to sort this out, or that needs to be sorted out before I can be at peace. Why do we put obstacles between us and peace? Be the peace now.
Well, we are.
Don't wait.
That's the
Don't
underlying, like you said in your opening meditation, underlying the noise, there's always peace.
Yeah.
It's just there. It's just there
Always
to tap
there.
into. We forget it because there's so much going on in the surface that we forget that it's a few breaths and we actually access that peace.
Yeah.
But we get so carried away with thoughts and ideas and opinions and people and right or wrong that we actually forget that the peace is just there, and we can drop into it in a few seconds. We can drop into that.
One conscious breath, one breath taken with awareness, with full awareness, is enough for you to find that still essence of presence within you.
Yeah, and I think, being the observer, it's good to know what's going on if you have the stomach for it. It's fine to know what's going on, to be informed, but not to live there. So
And
to
not
be
to give it
able to
emotional
see it,
energy either.
to sort of float above it, to see it as if you were a bird soaring above it. You're saying, yep, there's this happening on the ground. This is what's happening. This is what the big drama is. I choose to see it, but not be of it.
Yeah.
To not be in it, to not land in it, and seep myself into it. And that, for me, that is consciousness. It's being able to see it. So you're not closing your eyes and saying, no, it's not happening and I don't want to see. You're saying, yeah, it is happening. I accept that it's happening, but it's not who I am, and it's not something that I have to immerse myself in, because I can be of better use with a group like this, holding light, holding joy, connecting, holding each other in love, than actually putting all my focus on that. And I mean, it's amazing how within I think it's a week and a half, how the whole planet has just become like super focused on one thing. Other narratives have just suddenly disappeared, and this has become now the prime focus. If you watch or listen to what's going on.
We were joking earlier about we spent billions on trying to find a cure for this virus, a cure, and all it took was Putin. Putin suddenly one day cured the virus. It's gone. It disappeared. One day.
Yeah.
So, but it's a matter of perception. We've spoken before about the power of perception. And it's through our power of perception and through the power of where we focus our attention that we create future realities. That's how powerful we are. And when we, watch the media, we are perverted in our perception. Our perception is being, in fact, directed in a certain direction with a certain frequency of vibration. And the more angry we get, the more we actually feed into that consciousness which creates war. The more we disinvest our awareness from the media and from that level of judgment which is being fostered upon us, the more we start to be part of the solution. We start to feed the world that we want. And that old Indian parable about there are two wolves fighting within us. And the little grandson, the grandfather's telling the story about these two wolves. And the grandson says, "Tell me, Granddad, which wolf wins?" He says, whichever you feed, that will grow within us. So which wolf do you want to feed in you? The wolf of fear or the wolf of love? Because it's in your hands. It's in your hands as to which wolf is going to grow within your awareness. The wolf of connection, of empathy, of community, of caring, of godliness, if you want to put it that way, of life, of connection to nature, or that wolf of disconnection, of fear, of resentment, of anger. And I mean, one of the worst vibrations is righteous anger. I have a righteous anger. It's anger. You're walking in that direction. You're feeding that wolf. That's the wolf you're feeding. Yeah, you might be quite right to have that anger. But you're still feeding that wolf. So it's really to realize that we are sentient beings and we have so much power within us to influence and to create the future that we're going to live in, that our children are going to live in, and that our grandchildren are going to live in.
We're it.
And to choose to put your hands on the steering wheel of your mind, and to point it in the direction you want to go, rather than pointing in the direction you don't want to go. Because if you don't change the path you're on, you will end up where you are headed. It's an old Chinese proverb, and it's so true. If we carry on focusing on division and what's wrong, and fear and anger, that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. So let's make love our destination, and let's bring that destination into the very present moment we're experiencing now. Let's make peace our destination and make it a current experience right now. Let's do it right now, in this moment, in whatever situation you're in. Make peace your purpose in this moment, here and now.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
As much as we think there's nothing else other than this moment. So if we choose it now, in this moment, that is determining our reality. It's just as simple as that. And it sounds, we always say things are so complicated. It's not that complicated. If you choose it now, you choose love, you choose peace right now, in this moment, that's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about tomorrow or in 10 minutes' time or what's going to happen with that situation. It's just right now.
And thank you for all the hearts, because that is a way of sort of expanding the love. Even by doing that, it's another small little step in expanding love. That's beautiful.
And when we say we're sending love, we are sending love. We're not just saying it.
Yeah.
We are sending love. There's so many stories about that are true. That if I say I'm sending love to you, I'm sending love to you, I am.
Yeah.
It's not just a figure of speech. You actually are.
Yeah.
And that's what we're feeding the field with. And that's up to us. And just what I want to say in closing is, nobody's coming to save us. It's not about some group of people coming to save us from anything. This is about us.
Saving ourselves.
Us. It's not anybody else.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to come in, driving in on a white whatever, and maybe it will, but I don't think so. This is about us raising our consciousness. Not somebody else coming to save us from this hideous situation that we might find ourselves in. It's us saving ourselves.
That's spoken in that Hopi poem that I did a few weeks back, months back or whatever, the Hopi poems. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We're the ones we've been waiting for. That's it. I mean, that's the last line in that Hopi prophecy. We are the ones. And it's our frequency. And let me just leave you with this. We are more powerful than we can comprehend. We are more powerful than we can comprehend. We've been dumbed down to believe we're not powerful. Every thought we think and every emotion we feel has immense power. Rather you choose the thoughts you want to think. You choose the feelings you want to feel, rather than the external world and the environment you find yourself choosing those thoughts and those feelings for you. You become the conscious creator of your feelings, your very own feelings and your very own thoughts. Then you become a part of the energy for a new earth to be born, and you help those victims in the war-torn areas. You help those people in impoverished conditions, poverty. I mean, we look at, for example, the war we had in the last 2 years against a virus. In fact, poverty was killing way more people on a daily basis than the virus ever could do. But did we bother to feed those hungry people? Or did we invest billions and billions and billions in some form of, to go in your arm that's going to give you a level of protection? Take that money and rather invest it in helping one of the biggest strifes we have on the planet, which is poverty, which is starvation. Why should children starve every single day when we have more than enough food on this planet to feed them? But we were focused on protecting ourselves from something floating in the air. And that's insanity. And it's insanity of perception. It's a perception that's been perverted. Now it's to realize that we have immense power to become sane again. And the only sane place to be is in the present moment, and to realize the power, immense power, the power of love, and to be the peace that we desire to see in the world. And each one of us, it's up to each one of us to become that which we seek. Yeah. So do you want to end off wrapping it up with a nice centering meditation? Then we'll draw a affirmation card from the pack for the week ahead. And if you're enjoying what we have to share with you tonight, please press the share button yourself and help spread the light. Thank you. We really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so let's just settle in. Make yourselves comfy. Take a beautiful deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. Let's take another deep, slow, full breath in, slowly, all the way in. Hold for a second, and then a slow, long out breath. And on the exhale, just let it all go. Let's do a third deep breath in. And then a long out breath. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Release. Now just be aware of the sounds that you can hear in the room. Full awareness on what you can hear. Not labeling it, not judging it. Just noticing it, being aware of the sounds. Notice how there's a propensity to want to judge it or label it. Bring yourself into the place of the observer, where you're simply observing it, observing the sounds. That's all. And now observe your breath as it comes in through your nostrils. And fills you up, and then observe it as it exits your body. Again, just fully focused on the breath. No judgment, no trying to control it. Just becoming aware of it. And connect connect with what you can feel in the air around you. Maybe you can feel air on your face. How does that feel? Is it warm? Is it cool? Just feel it. No need to label it, no need to judge it. Just being aware of it. Notice anything in your body that might be calling you. There might be a tweak here, or a resistance there, or a pain, heaviness. Just scan your body. And if you come to something which is calling you, again, just notice it. Just become aware of it without going into any story about it. Without trying to change it. No judging it. Just noticing. And then see if you can breathe into that area. Right into the middle of that area, and then release and let it go. Let's do that again, into whatever area in your body is calling you. Breathing into it, and then releasing and letting it go. And now let's just do that for our whole body. So connect with your head, your scalp, your ears. As you connect with your head, just become aware of your head. Start to see if you can soften. Soften the little muscles around your eyes. Make your eyes gentle. Soften them. Relax and soften your nose, your mouth, ears, your jaw, your whole head. Now coming down through your neck. Softening those neck muscles, opening the throat, down into the shoulders, releasing any tension that you hold in your shoulders. Breathing into those arms and letting go of any resistance, any tension, any tightness, any gripping. Out into your hands. And now just focus completely on your hands. Full awareness on your hands. And again, notice whatever arises in your hands. You might notice the sensation. No labeling, no judging, just noticing. Allowing it to be as it is. Keep breathing out, beautiful exhales. On the exhale, we release. This is the time of the year we're releasing a whole year's cycle. We're releasing what we don't need to hold anymore. Bringing your attention now down through your torso into all your organs, front and back, down the spinal cord. Releasing, relaxing, letting go, down into your hips, pelvis, releasing any tightness that might be held there, into your legs, relaxing your knees, loving your knees, loving your body. This miracle that we walk around with. Bring that energy and focus down into your lower legs, your ankles, your feet, each toe. And feel yourself being grounded and held, supported by beautiful Mother Earth. Connecting to Earth and the gratitude that we hold for Mother Earth, and the gratitude that we hold for Father Sky. And bringing them into unity in your heart. Breathe into that heart as if you could expand it, as if it could expand like a lung. Breathe into your heart and soften. Bring yourself completely into the oneness of this moment. No resistance, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Right in the middle. And just feel what it feels like to be in this place. Feel the peace. Feel the unity. Feel the love. And then from this place, allow that to just radiate out into the field. No doing on your part. It just radiates out of you. And if you feel led to, you can bring your hands up into your heart, just in thanks. And take a deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. And open your eyes when you're ready.
Thank you. Wasn't that beautiful? Let us know in the comments box how you feel right now. Let us know how you feel. And if you have any input or any comments about tonight or your thoughts on the subject of war and peace, please just type it into the comments box. Thank you for all the hearts. It's really beautiful. And just to know, the ending of all war, this war that we have within us, is surrender. And that, funny enough, is the key subject that we're looking at this month in our Inner Space group. And if you're interested in some community support, then please go onto our website, which is journeysofawakening.com, and just click the Inner Space tab. And you're welcome to join us for the month. We have a beautiful community there, lovely meditation, lovely teaching as well. So join us there. So let's just choose a card.
Thanks, everyone.
Let's just choose a card quickly, an affirmation card.
Okay, let me close my eyes. Where are they?
God is love. I am love. I rest my mind here in this space. God is love. I am love. I rest my mind here in this space. That's a beautiful meditation to end the war. Affirmation to end the war. I'll photograph it and put it up on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you enjoyed, please press the like and the share button. And we look forward to catching up with you next Sunday for Sunday Satsang with John and Michelle.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Love you
Lots of
lots.
love. Lots of love.